Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to run through some information on CAP therapy, which is a treatment that I'm currently receiving here in Thailand for topical steroid withdrawal. In case you missed my first episode, please feel free to go back and check that one out where I talk more about TSW and my journey with it so far. I do have a lot to cover today, so please bear with me and we'll get into today's episode. As I mentioned, I'm currently in Thailand and I've been here for about 5 months while I receive ongoing weekly treatments with CAP therapy for my TSW. CAP stands for cold atmospheric plasma. Cold meaning the plasma is cold enough to touch my skin without causing any pain or discomfort. Also because it's under 45 degrees Celsius. Anything over this amount would be considered hot plasma. Atmospheric, meaning the plasma is created from the air or the atmosphere around us, and plasma is ionized gas, and it's also known as the fourth state of matter. This can be seen in many things around us, such as lightning, the stars, the northern lights, etc. An incredible man by the name of Jay is the director of the CAP clinic here in Thailand. The CAP clinic itself is located in Bangkok, in a district outside the main city district, a place called Nonthaburi. Initially, Jay and his team created the CAP machine to reverse skin thinning side effects from an aesthetic laser treatment device. Now, as we know, one of the side effects from using topical steroids is that it can cause thinning of the skin. Jay and his team realized the potential of this machine as a treatment option for patients who were presenting with thin skin from the overuse of topical steroids. He's studied this closely enough over time and has been treating TSW patients for almost 20 years. He's seen enough cases to have been able to develop a theory on what a person's healing timeline may look like with CAP, depending on their steroid usage histories. All of this information he shares for free and spends hours upon hours at a time educating each patient on how to take care of themselves properly in order to get the best results from the treatment. Because 50% of the treatment success comes from the machine, the other 50% comes from how you take care of yourself and how you manage your environment, which is the most important part of the treatment. I will break this down into separate episodes later on so that it's easier to follow. This CAP machine is a Class 3 medical device, and it's been taken on roadshows all over the world to different conferences. It's approved and allowed to operate in ASEAN countries only. It's not easy to get FDA or CE approval because it costs millions of dollars and it may or may not be approved in the end. A lot of research also needs to be done to prove the efficacy of this device to heal TSW. But this can be really hard, especially when TSW isn't even recognized as a medical condition in the first place. We need people in the academic and the medical communities to jump on board so that we can get the research and the study behind TSW so that it can become officially recognized as a medical condition, and then they'll be able to explore possible treatment options. Until we get that, it's up to us to get this information out there, to share that CAP exists as a modality to heal TSW, and hopefully it reaches the right people in the right medical fields. There is an untapped wealth of knowledge behind the CAP clinic here in Thailand, and all of this information Jay gives away for free for anyone who wants to listen. There's also many of us out there who are openly sharing our stories with TSW and CAP therapy, and I'll list some of them in the caption below. CAP itself is actually well studied and researched, and it's already used in many different areas such as the hospitality industries to kill pathogens, it's used in hospitals for chronic wound healing, and it's used in the aesthetics industries for fine lines and wrinkles. There are many versions of the CAP machine, but as I touched on before, the one that we use here in Thailand are designed and made by Jay's father-in-law, who's also a very well-respected doctor here in Thailand. This machine has been tested and upgraded over the years to ensure the highest quality for healing, and it has become a lot more comfortable and bearable for the skin over the years. This machine is a very strong medical grade device, and it's already used in hospitals here in Thailand for things like wound healing. They use the 8th and the 9th generation model here in Thailand. The CAP machine increases skin cell proliferation. Basically, this means that it wakes up the skin cells that have been asleep or suppressed for so long because of the dependency on topical steroids. Again, you can go back and watch my very first episode where I talk about this in more detail. Prolonged use of topical steroids can lower skin cell proliferation rate. So when you stop using them, the skin cells need to relearn to wake up and do their job properly after relying on topical steroids for so long. This is something that can heal naturally over time during TSW, but it can take a lot of time because our skin cells have memory. They can fall back into that sleep pattern very easily and need quite a few treatments to keep reminding them of what they need to do, so that eventually they'll automatically adapt back into their own normal working pattern. As I mentioned before, we know that one of the side effects of using topical steroids for a prolonged amount of time is that it can cause thinning of the skin. So it can often take a person many years to fully recover from TSW naturally before the skin thickness can get back to 100%. The CAP machine helps to speed up this timeline. But even when the skin starts to look normal again, it's still really only sitting around the 80% thickness mark. You'll still need further treatments to get it back to 100%, and then maintenance treatments will be required for a certain amount of time so that the skin cells can be stimulated enough until they pick up that pattern again for normal skin cell proliferation rate. The CJ serum is also part of the treatment, and it has a very expensive ingredient in it, which helps with skin cell growth and skin cell proliferation rate. It goes hand in hand with the CAP machine. The CAP machine also helps to kill off fungal and bacteria, and also helps with hardened and elephant skin, which many of us suffer from during TSW because of excessive scratching, using moisturizer, and prolonged irritant exposure. It's extremely important to note that CAP is not a quick fix, and the healing process can look very different for everyone. It also depends a lot on your environment in terms of how you take care of yourself and how you manage infections and allergens and irritants. And I'll be talking about this in future episodes. Because there is so much information to share on this topic, I'll be breaking it down into different parts so that it's easier to follow. So please make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications button so you can be notified of all my latest episodes. What you just saw was me receiving the treatment, which I've just explained, so please stay tuned. In the next episode, I'll tell you more about my own personal journey with CAP, and I'll show you some before and after pics of my journey so far. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you next time.